Hello, my little mathematicians. Today we are going to go through the study guide of perimeter, area, of parallelograms, triangles, and composite figures. Ready to get started? As always, please write out the area formula each time, then plug in what you know. For the perimeter, write down what you're plugging in. And then, of course, you can use a calculator. Also, if you want to try any yourself first, and then pause the video, try it, and then unpause it and check back with us, I would highly recommend that, as that is a great way to practice for the test. All right, let's go ahead and get started. For area, this is a parallelogram, and you know it's a parallelogram because these two sides are parallel, and if you extend these two sides are parallel as well. So when both sides of opposite sides are parallel, it's a parallelogram. So I'm going to go area equals base times height, formula of a parallelogram. Your height is always connected to your base with that little box indicating a right angle. So that line connects to this line, which is the same as this one. So your base is 14 and your height is 10. Your height is not necessarily always a part of the shape. Sometimes it's inside, sometimes it's outside of the shape, like this triangle down here. So you're not going to use those when you're doing perimeter. Perimeter is only the outside solid lines of a shape. Okay, just something to keep in mind. So now you have 14 times 10, which is 140. And for area, is it feet or feet squared? Feet squared. Okay, and then for the perimeter, you're going to look at only the outside edges. So if this is 14, so is that. And there's two 14s. Plus 2, whatever this is the same thing here. So you have two 10.4s as well. You could have gone 14 plus 14 plus 10.4 plus 10.4. That's fine. So when you do 2 times 14, that's 28. And 2 times 10.4, you get 20.8. Add those together and you get 48.8. Is it feet or feet squared? Well, perimeter, you're just adding all the edges, so it's only in feet. Area is feet squared because you go this times that. So feet times feet is feet squared. All right. Number 1, hopefully you got that one right. If not, let's move on to number 2 and let's try this one. You got it. What is it? What do you think? It is a trapezoid because yes, these two sides are parallel, but if I extend these two sides, they would intersect down here. So both sides, both set of opposite sides are not parallel of this quadrilateral, so it is a trapezoid. So 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Or you could have gone base 1 plus base 2 times height all over 2. Same thing. Okay, again, this little box connects your height to your two bases. This one has two bases because you can see the bases aren't the same. So I'm going to count for both of them. It's 19 plus 12. The vertical height that separates my two parallel bases is 9. When you add inside the parentheses first, 12 plus 19 is 31. And then times 9 divided by 2, you get a final answer of area is 139.5 yards squared or yards? Well, it's area, so it's yards squared. Your perimeter, add all along the outside. So you have that 9.7 plus this 12 plus that other 9.7 and then plus that 19. Add all those together in your calculator and you should get 50.4 yards. All right, that's it for number 2. Number 3, what shape is that? Well, it looks kind of like a parallelogram, but I would say it's probably a rhombus because they told me like just this one side, so it's all these sides are the same. So that means for the perimeter, you would go 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13, or smarter way, 4 times 13, which would be 52, and it's 52 meters. Then for your area, since it's a rhombus, You could go base times height, but they didn't tell me the height of the figure. They told me the two diagonals. So the other formula for the area of a rhombus is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. So this one diagonal, the whole length is 24. And the second diagonal, they say the whole length is 14. So half of 24 is 12. 12 times 14, you get the area is 168 meters squared. Remember, the diagonals are the lengths that go from one corner to the other corner, which is the same thing that you're going to use when you have a kite. So a kite area is the same thing, 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, or you also could have done diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2. So let's try this formula this time. Well, for this one, it says this whole length right here is 16, so that's one diagonal. But then this one is 5 plus 12. So 5 plus 12 is 17 for that second diagonal, and all over 2, or times 1/2 if you didn't want to do it that way. Okay, regardless, you go 16 times 17 divided by 2, you get an area of 136 centimeters squared. For the perimeter, this is the same as whatever this is. So if this is 9.4, so is that. So you have two 9.4s plus whatever this is the same as this. So if this is 14.4, that's 14.4 as well. So 2 times 14.4. 2 times 9.4 is 18.8. 2 times 14.4 is 28.8. Add those two together and you get a total perimeter of 47.6 centimeters. All right, hopefully we're doing well so far. This next shape is a triangle. So the formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Or this is a triangle as well. You also could have gone base times height divided by 2. Those are the same thing, multiplying by 1/2 or divided by 2. Look for that little box. It connects your height to your base. So your base is 10 and your height is 3.7 for this one. And for this one right here, connects your height to your base. So your base is 11 and your height is right here, that 12. Okay, so go ahead and type that in. 1/2 of 10 is 5. 5 times 3.7 is 18.5, and it's kilometers, so kilometers squared. For this one, you have 11 times 12 divided by 2, or you could have gone, reduce that, and 6 times 11 is 66, and it's meters squared. Okay, now I found the area for both those triangles. The perimeter is, remember, just these solid outside edges. And it's a three-sided figure, so there should be 3 numbers we're adding together. The 5.5, that outside edge of 7, and this one of 10. Add all those together, 17 plus 5.5, you get 22.5 kilometers. For this one, here's the solid line, here's the solid line, and there's the solid line. This is not actually part of the figure. That's just the perpendicular height to the base. So 12.3 is actually one of the sides, not that 12. Plus the base of 11, plus that length right there of 18.4. Go ahead and add those 3 sides together, and you get 41.7 meters. All right, we're moving right along here. Let's go ahead and turn to the next page, and we have some composite figures for you. A composite figure is when you have 2 figures or 2 polygons put together. So identify the separate shapes that make up this total composite figure. So I have a rectangle plus a triangle. So the rectangle right here, that's 14 by 4. And for my triangle, it told me that this is 12, but I need to figure out the base. Well, if this whole thing is 14, this whole thing is 14. So 5 plus what is 14? That missing part is a 9. So now that you have your things measured on here and labeled, let's go ahead and write down our individual area formulas for the specific shapes. This is a parallelogram, so base times height, plus the triangle, base times height divided by 2. So 14 times 4 plus 9 times 12 divided by 2. 9 times 12 is 108, 108 divided by 2, or you could have reduced it, and 6 times 9 is 54, plus 14 times 4, you got 56. Go ahead and add those together. You get 110 meters squared because you are finding the area. This next one, you're finding the shaded region. So I want to know if I do the total rectangle and subtract out that triangle, that will give me the shaded region, right? So the total rectangle is 36 by 21. This triangle is what? It has a height of 14. And what's the base? Well, this whole side is 36. From here to here is 10, and from here to here is 10. So 36 minus 20 will give me this part, which is what? 16. So the formula for the area of a rectangle is base times height minus base times height divided by 2. So 36 times 21 minus 16 times 14 divided by 2 will give me the shaded region. 36 times 21 is 756 minus, you have 8 times 14, which is 112. Subtract that from 756, and you get 644 feet squared. Again, I highly recommend you trying these first. Pause the video, try them yourself, then unpause it and check yourself. Okay, now they're going to tell us parts of the formula, and we have to fill in the missing parts. So this one is dealing with a parallelogram. So area equals base times height. It says the area is 133 feet squared, so I plugged that in for area. It says the height is 14. What is the length of its base? We don't know the base, so I keep it B. So something times 14 equals 133. How do you solve for that? We'll do the inverse of multiplying, which is to divide, so that these cancel, because 14 divided by 14 is 1. So now you have 1 times B, or just B, and that will give you here 133 divided by 14 is 9.5. So your base length is 9.5. Now is it 9.5 feet or feet squared? Feet, because you were just solving for the base, right? Because it was base times height to give you the area. All right, our next one is a rhombus. Did they tell me the base and height or diagonals? They told me diagonals. So I'm going to do the formula diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. They told me the area is 435. The length of one diagonal is 29. What is the length of the other? We don't know. So I keep it D, and it's all over 2. So let's simplify first. 29 divided by 2, you get 14.5 D. Okay, so you have 14.5 times something equals 435. How do you figure out what that is? Well, what's happening here? They're being multiplied. And what's the inverse of multiplying? Dividing. So divide both sides by 14.5. Now those cancel. You have just D. And 435 divided by 14.5 is 30, meaning 14.5 times 30 will give me 435, and that's the length of the other diagonal. Is it 30 meters or meters squared? 30 meters, because it's just the diagonal lengths. All right, the next one is a triangle. So the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. They told me the area was 16.5. And then I can just look at the photo and it told me right here I need to use this and this, right? This is actually only if I was doing perimeter. So the base is 5.5 and the height right here we don't know, but it's all over 2. So 5.5 divided by 2 is 2.75 times the height is equal to 16.5. So how do you get h by itself? Well, these are being multiplied, and the inverse of multiplying is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2.75. Those cancel. You get just h equals 16.5 divided by 2.75 is 6. So it's 6 meters for your height. All right, last one. What shape is that? It's a trapezoid. So the formula for area of a trapezoid is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. They told me the area is 32. And I know the two heights are 6 and 10 because those are the two sides that are parallel to each other, connected by that perpendicular height. And we don't know the height, it's unknown. So 6 plus 10 is 16. Half of that is 8. So on this side, I've now simplified it to 8h. So 8 times what is 32? We'll divide both sides by 8 to figure that out. Those cancel. H equals 32 divided by 8 is 4. So my height is 4 meters. All right, last page. Are you ready? Okay. When you're graphing, the first set of numbers always tell you right or left, and the second set of numbers tell you up or down. So I would recommend focusing first on the first set of numbers and going, okay, is it right or left? This is left, right, nothing, left. The second set of numbers is up or down. They're all positive, so up. Here you have right or left. So left, left, right. Up or down, down, up, down. Here you have right or left. So left, left, right. Here's up or down, so up, down, down. Here's right or left. What do you think? Right, left, left, nothing. Up or down? Up, 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 up. Now it's a little bit easier. You hopefully won't make as many mistakes because you know you go 5 left, 5 up. 1 right, 5 up. So let's go ahead and do that. 5 to the left and 5 up puts me right there. Then you have 1 to the right and 5 up. Over nothing, up nothing. To the left 6 and up nothing. Go ahead and connect those. And you can see that you have a parallelogram. So, hopefully you connect it better than I did. Okay, so you're going to count. You're asked to find the area of each of these, right? So area equals base times height of a parallelogram. So the base length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for your base. Your height, the perpendicular height, so from one base to the other base, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your height. So 6 times 5 is 30. If they don't tell you units, you would go units squared, but they actually said each square represents 1 square foot. So let's put it as feet squared. 30 feet squared for the first one. Okay, this next one, you have 2 to the left and 3 down. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 to the left and 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 right and 3 down. Connect those, and there's only 3 points, so it should make a triangle. Okay, and the formula for area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So my base length, if I count, is 1, let me double check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All over 2. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. And again, it says, 1 square equals a foot, so it's feet squared. All right, 2 more left. You've got this. 2 to the left, 1 up. 4 to the left, 3 down. 3 to the right, 3 down. And connect those to see what shape they make. And it's a triangle. So area equals base times height divided by 2. Your base length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And your height is 1, 2, 3, 4. All over 2. So those can cancel. And now instead of 7 times 4 divided by 2, I reduced those, the 2 and the 4, and got 7 times 2, which is 14 feet squared. Okay, last one. Over 1, up 6. Left 4, up 6. Left 3, up 2. And over nothing, up 2. Well, this one is not a parallelogram because these 2 lines would intersect. So this is a trapezoid. So area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. My 2 bases are the sides that are parallel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3. So 5 plus 3 from my 2 bases times the vertical height that separates them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Half of 8 is 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. So it's 16 feet squared for the area of that trapezoid. Congratulations, my little mathematicians. You have mastered all the different shapes.